Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny. It's a beautiful day. I wanted to make a video today, and I wanted to ask you a question before I start. If you've got social anxiety, or if you've got anxiety around speaking to people, building relationships, being out in public, just dealing with any sort of anxiety around social anxiety, what was the question I wanted to ask for this video? That's what I wanted to say. Are you controlling your social anxiety, or is your social anxiety controlling you? I'll explain what I mean by that. Now, this is my own analogy of social anxiety. I kind of see social anxiety as, I see it as there are different stages of social phobia. Social anxiety, social phobia. Social anxiety, in its definition meaning, is the fear of people. It's the fear of embarrassment. It's the fear of being judged by people. But I always, at one level that's true, but social anxiety runs much deeper than that. I've personally done my own personal research into social anxiety, which has been almost 18 years. My social anxiety developed from as young back as I can remember, which was age 15. And it was really triggered, and I know I've said this a lot in my videos before, but there may be new viewers on the channel. It was triggered from my dad. I had a very abusive father growing up, and I was really scared of my dad, and I was frightened I had trouble speaking in public. I had trouble speaking whether there was one person in the room or whether there was a big crowd. Obviously, once I could get relaxed with a person, I would feel much more comfortable. But I have all this anxiety in my body, my mind would be scattering, my chest would be really tight. So, this is going to make sense. So for many years, I wasn't controlling my social anxiety. My social anxiety was controlling me, it was bullying me. And of course, the classic symptoms are, you're frightened of people. Sometimes when you have social anxiety, you will probably, and this is probably a defensive mechanism, this is part of your ego or a separate personality, you won't want to admit that you're afraid of people because that will make you feel terrible. And it's almost confusing to actually kind of admit to yourself that you're frightened of people, because then the next question you would ask is, how can I be afraid of people? Like, I'm a person, you should be able to speak to people. Well, you shouldn't be able to speak to people if you've had a childhood trauma. And that's really where social anxiety derives from. So what made me think about making this video today was, yesterday I run a social event. I run a social circle event in London, and it's primarily to help men, help other sufferers with social anxiety to get around other people, to practice being in the feelings of exposing themselves in social situations, which is why we have a group which usually up to about 10 people, sometimes more, and to be around like-minded people so you're not going to feel as judged, you're going to feel comfortable, and it's a great way to build relationships. And it is the antidote to you controlling your anxiety as opposed to it controlling you. Now, back to what I said at the start, the reason why I asked the question is because, as I said, there's many stages of social anxiety. When my social anxiety was at its worst, which was probably in my very early 20s, sort of, well, it's hard to put an age on it, but I can't remember, about 20, 21. And it got to a stage where I didn't want to leave my house. And sometimes I didn't leave my house, and I'd only leave my house when I had to leave it, when I had to go and sign on at the job centre to pay my rent to get money, or I had to go to a job interview, or I had to go downstairs and buy some food for the house, or I was going to meet a close friend, which would always, I'd be comfortable with my close friend, because my friends, my friends kind of just accepted it. They knew I was quite anxious, and they were quite anxious as well, surprisingly. So it just, you don't really feel judged with people that have got it and they're your friends. But it was getting to a stage where I just didn't enjoy being around people, especially meeting new people. It was so difficult dealing with the feelings. But it's a catch-22, because I also didn't enjoy being by myself. Because when you've got anxiety, and if it's controlling you, it's very likely that you're going to get massive depression, because there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of self-hate around social anxiety. And my former student who worked with me for 12 weeks, and he's my friend now, Nick, he gave a talk yesterday. It was just amazing, and I'm not just saying this because he took my program and he worked with me. I'm a great teacher, and I know I'm really good because it takes one to know one. I've had social anxiety pretty much all my life. I've only just sort of really overcome it in the last 2 years, and that's because I manage it very well. So Nick's story was great, and just to briefly sum it up, Nick just sort of explained the classic symptoms of self-hate, and I love this talk because it was really about a transition from hate to love, from self-hate to self-love, sorry. And he explained that it was all about exposing himself to the feelings and practicing being present. Now, this is just something I've come up with, and this is through me applying spirituality and looking into, believe me, I've looked into every single practice you can think of in regards to helping with social anxiety. I've taught it myself, I've had social anxiety myself, I've went to other teachers. I would say there's not massive amounts of information out there at the moment other than my YouTube channel. There's a few other sources out there. I still think it's a hidden secret. I still think there's millions of people suffering from this condition, but they're too embarrassed to come forward because they're frightened of being judged. And again, if you go deep into the psychology, a fear of being judged is the fear of being rejected, laughed at, you know, frowned at, and then it's also the deeper rooted fear of being abandoned, which is in Freudian psychology. If you go in even to the scientific perspective of social interaction, social intimacy, and the way that we survive, our whole value system is based on our relationships. So that's why I really have compassion when people say that they've got social anxiety. I don't take it lightly. I think I wouldn't have been, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to have this compassion for people and people that follow my channel and people that I work with every week if I didn't suffer this myself. My own ignorance, my own selfishness would not allow me to really understand what it's like when you're going through this. It's been the most difficult battle for me, and that's why I've got so much empathy, and I think that's why I'm good at teaching, and I can say that without sounding like I'm being arrogant. If it was anything else I was teaching, I wouldn't really say I was good at it. I'd let other people make the decision. Because I've personally experienced social anxiety, I've battled with it, and I've just overcome it in the last 2 years. I would still say I've got mild social anxiety. It definitely shows up on occasions if I'm triggered and if I get lazy with my thinking and I fall into an old story. But I've developed a very strong psychology, I've developed coping strategies, and that's why I really wanted to get this video out today and just try my best to get the message as clear as I can, and to say I totally empathise if you're going for it, man or woman, because men and women go through this. This is just a people thing. So there's no quick fix with social anxiety. That's why I work with people for 6 weeks, sometimes longer. Sometimes people need 12 weeks, but it's so worth it. And if people say there is a quick fix for it, it's just not true. People are not telling the truth. And if that was the case, I could have overcome mine much quicker. Now, it's not going to take you, 15 years to overcome it. It took me 17 years. That was because I was really insecure. I didn't want to deal with it. And I rationalized my social anxiety, and I developed multiple personalities. And I had these separate personalities. Some were really confident, some were cocky, some were aggressive, some were really shy, and they got me through it. But it got to a stage where I was just so unhappy, I had to develop my authentic self, which is what you see now. So for me, I would say, and this is kind of going off topic, every single human being on this earth has at one stage of their life experienced social anxiety, and everyone on different occasions is afraid of people. Now, I'll challenge anyone on this. If someone was to say to me, no, that's not true, well, if that was the case, you would not care about being judged. You would be able to do a video, you could be completely honest, you could be naked, you wouldn't be seeking validation, you wouldn't be putting pictures on Facebook, you wouldn't be so desperate about making money, growing a business, being successful, because all this comes back to approval from people. Now, of course, like everyone, I want approval from people, and sometimes I'm scared as well. But what I've understood with all learnings, all teachings, my own experience, overcoming things is usually, we say that word out of context, overcoming things is getting better at managing it. So I think being more confident in yourself, sorry, and getting a better management over social anxiety is still feeling those same feelings but managing them better, and actually getting really good at changing your state. So you might go into a social situation, you might go into a social gathering you might feel full of anxiety, you might feel nervous, self-conscious, you might feel in your head. But once you get into the room after 10-15 minutes, you can calm yourself down, you can get inside your own head, and in spirituality they call it the watcher. You can watch yourself, you know, separately. You get warmed up socially, and then the feelings go, you get present and it's gone, and you feel really good, you're connecting with people. So I think you wouldn't be human if you were nervous sometimes. But on the extreme side, severe social phobia at its highest is where you cannot even speak to people. Like doing something like a video blog like this for me years ago, I would not have been able to do it. I would have been stuttering, I would have been panicking, I would have been self-conscious. So I overcome my social anxiety through exposing myself through the feelings, through speaking to thousands of people. I can split some of that into women. So women was a motivation for me to overcome my social anxiety, of course. It's just another metaphor, it's the same thing. Connecting with other men and doing the job that I love. So as much as I know how painful social anxiety is, it's excruciatingly painful, and that's not exaggerating. Sometimes people just completely I don't know, they kind of misdiagnose it. They just say, oh, he's just a little bit shy, he's just a bit quiet. And it's like, no, he's not a bit shy, he's not a bit quiet. He's terrified of people, he's nervous, he's afraid, he's scared to speak, he's afraid of being judged, he's afraid of the feelings. So I want to inspire you today, this video. I don't want to give you another personal development or quick fix that you're going to get over it. I want to say you can start. I've lost my train of thought now. This is old wounds. You can start controlling your social anxiety as opposed to it controlling you. So think of social anxiety like a bully. Think about when you go to school and there's always that one guy, or if you're a girl, there's that one girl that's a bullies everyone, and he starts bullying you, or she starts bullying you, and you're terrified. And you get to a stage, and I've been through this when I was younger, where you think, I'm just scared to go to school, I can't handle this no more, I'm scared to look at him, I'm scared of the feelings, I'm scared he might humiliate me, so I'm going to start staying off school. If you bunk school and you don't face this bully, you will be bullied by social anxiety for the rest of your life. You'll not be able to be the person you want to be, you'll not be doing the job that you want to do, you will not be enjoying your life, you won't meet the woman that you want to meet, or vice versa. If you're a woman, you won't meet the man. So go to school, feel the feelings, be present with the feelings, accept everything, accept embarrassment, accept shame, even accept self-hate in that moment, but control your social anxiety and stand up to the bully. Say, I'm not afraid of you. Say, I don't care if you kill me, I don't care if you try and humiliate me, I'll fight you now. So when I'm saying this now, I'm not telling people to go out and physically fight. I'm using a metaphor as a way of you getting control of your own mind, or getting to know your true authentic self, and not let these voices of this bully, this psychological bully which is social anxiety, start controlling you. When you start challenging your social anxiety, it's kind of strange. It's almost like a demon in your body. It will start trying to threaten you. It will say, you can't go and speak to this person because they're going to react, they're going to be aggressive. It will say, no one likes you, everyone thinks you're a bad person. It will say, it might even threaten you with what it used to do to me. You're ugly, you're not attractive, people are going to think you look horrible. It will threaten you with the most terrifying, horrific fears. Social anxiety in the past threatened me with death. It threatened me with the fear of abandonment. It threatened of imprisonment. It threatened me with every single human fear you can think of. That's how irrational my thoughts were when I couldn't get control of it. When I got to a stage when I was suicidal at 25, and I thought, I just can't take living anymore, it's too painful, I'm frightened of people, I've got so much hate towards myself, I feel so upset, I feel so bullied, why is this happening to me? I thought, I'm going to give life one last shot, sorry. And that's when I thought, I'm going to face this terror that's been bullying me for my whole life, which is, I'm not good enough to get women, or I can't speak to women. And I knew deep down that wasn't true, because prior to that experience at 25, I'd had some success with women. But social anxiety can be so vicious, it can be so unkind, it can be so, what's the word? It can be so mean it will even convince you that all your successes were not real. So it can make you question, it can trick you and make you question your experience. So if you're a sufferer of social anxiety, you might have gone out to an event, might have had a great time, and you thought nothing happened, the people were really nice, I made friends, the feelings went away, or I controlled the feelings, I feel great. The next week you start getting voices saying, oh, that was just luck, it's never going to be that easy again. Next time you go into a situation, you're going to be embarrassed. It will try to, it's a part of you, it's a part of your defensive mechanism, it's part of your childhood trauma that is trying to trick you into believing you can't stand up to it. So I got to a stage, and this happened to me on numerous occasions, and part of me doing this video now to help and inspire other people is also helping me to clear up any rust, any old stories that rise to the surface and try and trick me. I think it's worse for me as well, because I'm a successful teacher and I help other people to overcome this, and the voices get really vicious sometimes, try and trick me and say all kind of things, accuse me of being a phony, accuse me of being dishonest, accuse me of being a people pleaser, accuse me of being violent, accuse me of trying to seek attention. It tries every single trick in the book. Now of course, when you actually go and get the evidence, you disprove it. When you disprove it, that's self-love. I've said it before. Self-love doesn't, I mean, I'm saying this and I could be wrong, but in my experience, you cannot intellectually get self-love from a book. So reading about social anxiety, and I've written some really good articles on it, is really good, it's informative, but I personally feel this is the best way to do it. Like making a video blog, talking about it, exposing yourself to feelings, tell the world, tell everyone. That's what I did. That's my story. That's how I built a business. Well, not initially. I did pickup artistry, and I was kind of hiding a bit, but I was still coming out. But when I changed my teaching, I put my whole story out to the world. And when you expose it to the world, it can't really blackmail you no more, because it's okay to be judged. We judge one another all the time. You'll be judging me now doing this video, but you'll also be judging me from different perspectives. Some of it will be inspiration. You'll say, wow, this guy really speaks to me. I love his work, I love the honesty. Someone will say, what is he talking about? Look at this guy, whatever, I don't like his appearance, or I don't have social anxiety, what's he talking about? Or why is he trying to put stuff out? Whatever, it's okay, it's fine, because it makes me feel good. And it's me challenging, not you, not the world, because social anxiety is not in the people, social anxiety is in the mind. But how we overcome this monster is by getting into the heart. That's why when we're present, and when we're honest, and we're vulnerable and we're open, even if we just say, yeah, I'm scared, I'm nervous. I love, when I'm running the event, sometimes guys will say, I feel nervous. I say, it's all right, I'm nervous as well. That's why I'm here. I'm here to challenge my social anxiety, to connect with you. Just because I'm a teacher doesn't mean I don't feel fear sometimes. And often not, people will say to me, oh, I feel so good hearing you say that, because I thought Johnny Berba's immune. It's like, you guys may think that, but I'm not immune. Some days I'll wake up and I feel really scared. I don't want to leave the house, because it's just an old story that comes up. But when I actually look at the proof on paper, I'm overcoming all these fears. So for me, social anxiety has been a lifelong battle. But I don't want to deter you when I say that. It's a good battle. It's brought me so much joy. But if you don't face it and you let it control you, you're gonna really suffer. And I know this is gonna sound a bit strange, and I know I don't want to sound a bit Christian or too, but I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you to suffer. I've been through it, and I genuinely care for people that are going through this. Someone else said this to me the other day. I think it was a student I was teaching, and I thought exactly the same thing. He spoke my mind, and he said to me, do you know what, Johnny, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And I said, exactly the same. I had the same thought one day. I think that's really beautiful. I thought even people that bullied me at school when I was younger, I wouldn't wish this on them, because it's been the most terrifying thing for me. But on the flip side, it's been the most liberating thing. It's completely changed my life. It's just made me, be a man, and it's made me more human, and it's made me a good person, because I wasn't a good person years ago. You guys see me doing the videos now, you see me doing inspiring things, but I wasn't this person years ago, but I've forgiven myself anyway. And it makes it easier when I do this video. So, in doing this video, I expose this monster that was once in me, this monster that is in you, this monster that is in the world. Social anxiety at a high level is part of our damaged consciousness. So whether you believe this or not, and I really do believe this, some days I struggle to believe it because my mind plays tricks on me, but at a deep level I believe it. We're all one, we're all the same. We're just different expressions in one consciousness, in one energy. So if a part of us is damaged, we're all damaged. And if I heal myself, which I've done, and this is absolute truth what I'm speaking of, even though I was going to say this today, I'm healing the world. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be able to heal everyone. I wish I could, but I know that's not going to be reality. But at least I'm making a difference. So if you challenge and control your social anxiety, you will help other people to do it. Just by you changing it, it will help others. Another guy said a great thing to me yesterday. He came to my talk. He was a new attendee, nice fella. I won't say his name just in case he doesn't want me to say his name. And he said, you know what, Johnny, you could see a person walking down the street and you wouldn't know that they've got social anxiety. And he said, I know that from having it myself. And he was a confident lad like myself. And I said, I know it. Isn't it sad? Isn't it sad? Isn't it inspiring that people walk around every day living their lives? You could see someone successful with money. You could see someone on Facebook with beautiful women. And they could be suffering from this. And I was suffering from this really badly 3-4 years ago, even when I was teaching men how to pick up women. And I rationalized my anxiety. I hid it by developing a defensive mechanism. Now, I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing, because that's part of our... Isn't it amazing that that's us trying to heal ourselves? But defensive mechanisms and coping strategies are not meant to be forever. They're just there for a temporary time until we get the courage and the strength to do away with them. Like if you used to do swimming, and you couldn't swim in the deep and you used to wear armbands. You'd wear armbands till you get the confidence and you'd lose them. Same in the boxing. You wear a head guard, you spar until you get more confident. As an amateur boxer, if you become a professional, you take the head guard off. So I'm an expert in social anxiety. I'm a complete expert because I've had it and I've taught other people how to control it. When you control it, you don't have it. And this is gonna sound a bit strange, but it makes sense. There's a saying in Zen, I've said this before in my videos, if you think you understand Zen, you don't understand it. If you know that you don't understand Zen, or I think they call it the Tao, the Chinese, is it the Chinese Bible or the Chinese book? I'm not 100% sure. If you think you know the Tao, you don't understand the Tao Te Ching. If you don't understand the Tao Te Ching, you understand the Tao Te Ching. I personally feel the same with social anxiety. If you think you've overcome social anxiety, if you've been a sufferer like myself, you haven't overcome social anxiety. If you accept, I'm getting confused, let me say it again. If you accept that you haven't overcome social anxiety, but you control it, you've overcome social anxiety. I've got confused. Basically, it's the same thing. So the only way to overcome social anxiety is to accept that you can't overcome it, you have to manage it. When you accept that, you've overcome it. But if you can't accept that you can't overcome it, you can't overcome it. I hope I didn't confuse you. Very similar. And it's just my personal research. I remember even when I got really confident and I got so much more relaxed around people, I remember I was being so hard on myself, thinking that I've got to be this socially relaxed person in every second of every minute. I just thought, that's just not possible. And I don't mean this in a judgmental way, I've taught hundreds of people. I've approached, I'm sure it's got to be in the thousands of women. I've dated lots of women. I've done loads of public talks. I've done hundreds of YouTube video blogs. I've had a spiritual awakening, and my consciousness is bang, I'm really awake. And I've noticed fear in everyone. And of course, I'm not saying that to be judgmental. I'm saying that's nice, that we're all human. Because sometimes I get anxious. It only takes a negative thought to trigger off anxiety, just to slip out of presence, and you can experience anxiety. Anxiety is not a bad thing. it's not a bad thing. We are human beings. I experience anxiety every day. Every single day my body will feel some level of anxiety, whether it's excitement, whether it's stress, whether it's slipping out of presence, whether it's thinking about an old story, whether it's just a revisit of childhood trauma. And it's the same for everyone. The worst trick we play on ourselves when we suffer severe social phobia, we say, I'm the only one that's going through this, everyone else is alright and I'm strange, I'm weird. And you're not weird, you're not strange, you're actually very normal, you're very human. Now, on a flip side, what happens when you start to control your social anxiety? You become really socially confident. You really start enjoying connecting with people. You get the confidence to be more open, like I'm doing on this video blog. You start to feel more you feel more love. You feel more love for other people, of course, because you feel more love for yourself. And I think you become more acceptant. You become more acceptant of everything. So I know for me, this is just different phases. When I first started overcoming it, I was so excited, running up and down, as you guys seen, where I was in the midst of doing it, picking up women. That's the first place I really went to celebrate me getting more control over it. And I remember there was a period I thought I've completely got rid of it. So you may go for a stage of celebration, which is great, where you're excited, you kind of want to show everyone that you're confident, you might do public speaking. But at a higher level, which I think is even more exciting, you get more balanced. And a lot of people lately have said to me, I look really serious, and it's because I just feel more relaxed. I feel more relaxed, and the spiritual awakening, the awakening really balanced me out. And I just feel more numb, which I like. I said it to a guy yesterday I was having a chat with at the social circle. I said, for me, I don't like being too much on a high, because then you come down and you're too low. I mean, I like being balanced in the middle, and I just feel really nice and calm. For me, calm is the best place for me to be at, and I'm guessing it's the same for you. So this video is to really give you my truth of 17 years, which is to expose yourself to the feelings, to gradually get better management over the social anxiety, and of course, I forgot to mention, I've said it in other videos, to practice not just honesty with your social relationships, but honest living. The more honest you are in your life, the less you have to be ashamed about. If you're living honest and you're not cheating on anyone, you're not stealing, you're not watching pornography, you're not bad-mouthing people, you're not being violent, there's not much to be ashamed about, is there? There's not much to be ashamed about. Any fear you'll have would just be natural, biology, natural fight or flight, which we all experience from day to day. When I cross the road and there's a cyclist rushing down and I don't see him, it jumps me, fight or flight. When there's a busy queue and people are huffing and puffing and they're getting impatient, when I get on the train in London, I can experience fight or flight. But I've really learned to manage these feelings, and what happens is, it's really strange. Really strange, I had this realization. You end up going from this really socially anxious person, and you'll probably say this to yourself, because I did, who's probably well below average on the scale of being socially relaxed or socially confident. Then if you practice it like I've done, you'll become a lot more confident than the average person. Someone who doesn't have severe social anxiety, they're not anxious, they're quite relaxed, but you'll naturally be more confident because you've worked on yourself. So social anxiety for me has been a love-hate relationship, but if I had to sum it up, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because I wouldn't be doing this now. Would not be speaking to you. I wouldn't even have got into doing the pickup stuff, and there's a lot of people that still like my work from then, and I still think the work's really impressive, it's really good. I just decided I wasn't living the most honest way, and I wanted to up the gear and change. But I am excited to say, I don't know when, I am going to be filming some videos, not pickup videos, of me going out and demonstrating. I've decided now I want to do it. It feels right to me, it feels congruent. Of me demonstrating how to overcome social anxiety by exposing yourself to the feelings, by speaking to people. Now, of course, I totally resonate with some of the comments, and I understand some of you have said you're just talking about it, and I know, because I've always said talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. I've done hundreds of videos, but I do understand those videos, they are old and we need to keep upgrading. But as I said before, I'm not doing videos for the sake of doing it or to please people. I'm doing stuff that I enjoy and I know it's going to help people. So I am going to do some experiments in going out exposing. I will speak to women and men and some other exercises. So